Hello and welcome back to the channel. Ninja Tutorial here, and today we're back in the realm of Pokemon customs. I feel like it's been a little while, and that's probably accurate. I think the last thing I made was Sabrina, and that was almost a year ago. It was at the beginning of the year. Diantha, the champion of the Kalos region, finally made this custom. It's been a long time in the making, or at least in my desires, and I finally got around to doing it. I did plan on doing two of these, one costume, this one, and another one, but we'll get into that later on. I ended up only just settling with this one. Like I said, we'll talk about that shortly. I will tell you exactly how this came to be. What is this? How did I do this? Basically, and in this video. So if you're curious, make sure you stay tuned, and I'll give you the full breakdown on how all of this works. We're going to start, though. Let's talk about gardevoir. So this gardevoir is not a custom. This is a model kit. So if you're curious, you think I did a great job on this? No, I actually built this as a model kit. It's very hollow plastic on the inside. It is articulated a little bit. You can move the arms. The feet are kind of dangling, and they can be adjusted a little bit. It does come with swappable hands. So this part here has a cut on it. You can barely see right there. You can see the cut. I believe it comes off right there, and then the hands fold upward. For the most part, it doesn't do a whole lot of articulating, but I don't need it to. It just needs to exist so it can stand next to Diantha and be an accessory. I bought this like 2 years ago, I think. Maybe, yeah, probably close to 2 years ago, because I knew I was going to make Diantha at some point, and it's hard to come by figures of gardevoir. Hopefully that changes, because they have been kicking some butt lately with these like kind of premium figures, but this is more of the cheaper. I think it's like $15 model kit, so it's still available, still out there if you're interested. I believe these eyes are stickers, so they're not nothing. There's no paint on here. It still looks cool and good, but yeah, I do want one of the more premium figures that they have coming out. They're like at Target and stuff. Like I just bought Mewtwo and Suicune for other stuff later. But yeah, those look great. So hopefully they do give us a gardevoir at some point, so I can replace this one. So yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Gardevoir is her ace Pokemon, but I think she has a Mega Gardevoir, because it is Gen 6. That's when the Megas came from. So it's probably a Mega Gardevoir, so that'd be really cool if they gave us that. But anyway, transitioning back to Diantha. Yeah, so I made this. This is her standard look. Again, it's a Pokemon X and Y. She's a champion of that game, so you have to defeat her. I believe she's either a model or an actress or both or something like that. So she's just like really pretty, but she's also really busy. But she's also the best Pokemon trainer in the region. So I always love that about her. So let's go ahead and talk about how I built this and what parts comprise this figure. Actually start with the purse here. Just go ahead and get that out the way. So this purse is fully sculpted by me. Like I fully hand sculpted this purse. It's not perfect. I wish I had like some more experience and maybe even like made different versions of it just to pick the best one, but I was kind of sculpting her hair. Actually, no, I sculpted, that's a lie. I sculpted this weeks ago when I was sculpting I don't even remember what character I did last. But it was a figure that I had extra sculpt of, and I needed to like, oh God, I have so much extra. Let me use it. Oh, I can do Diantha's purse. So it is fully sculpted. I took the epoxy sculpt, and then took the before it hardened, took a what's it called? The knife, whatever knife I use to cut these lines into it. It's not very visible, but you can see there. I didn't want to paint those lines on there. I wanted the lines to be just like, you know, just going in, recessing into the actual purse there, and add more sculpt on top of that. I actually did the shape of the purse first, and then let that dry, and then like a week later, when I had some extra time and sculpt, I added the straps and the belt, the buckles for the belt there. And then after that dries, the plastic, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute, is the same plastic that I used on her jacket. Just little strips there for the handles for the purse, and then painted everything. I think I could have went with a lighter pink. I realize that now, but it was too late. Once I started painting it, I was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine, it's pink. But yeah, it is just epoxy sculpt, and I shaped it by hand. So get some epoxy sculpt, or if you have plastic and you can do that, great. But I think epoxy sculpt helped a lot, so I can get those cuts into the purse itself. Now, back to the rest of her. Her shoes are the same shoes that you can find on a Gwen Stacy, the Gwen Stacy Mary Jane dual pack, the Marvel Legends one. I did have a little bit of a snafu with the shoes, because these are, one of them is a resin copy and the other one is an actual shoe from that Gwen Stacy. So this side is the resin copy. Right here you can see that the foot is not going all the way in there, and that kind of happens sometimes, but that is satisfying enough for me. But on this side, it goes all the way in, because that's actually the actual shoe. So the other resin shoe that was on this side, for whatever reason, I couldn't stick the foot in there. It was painted and finished and everything. It wouldn't go in there. And when I tried to jam it in there, I ended up breaking it in half. So out of frustration, I just found the original Hasbro plastic, shoe from that figure, and just painted the outside white and stuck it on there. So I might go back and take the other foots, so I don't have one extra of one of these laying around, and just replace this one and toss it out, and that way it'll she'll stand evenly, and I won't have a right foot just sitting around, whatever it is. But going back to the rest of it, kind of getting to more standard parts. The lower legs are just Kate Bishop legs, or Kate Bishop style legs. Don't you fall over on me? There you go. Just your standard legs that you'd find on any Kate Bishop style figure. So in this case, these type of lower legs. The upper legs are not the same as what you find on here. These are from a Moira McTaggart or Jean Grey Marvel Girl or Agent Carter or whatever, Peggy Carter. Those thighs that I use like all the time. The lower torso is your standard Kate Bishop torso. In this case, it is from, I believe, actually from this Shikla. And then I replaced the pin on the inside with a white one. Yeah, because again, this is not white, so I replaced that pin. So there's very little painting on there. There is a little paint on that pin, and on the inside I obviously painted all of that because that was once purple color. But all the paints on the pin itself, there's only a little bit of that. But the regular standard torso is your standard torso. The upper torso is from the Emma Frost figure, for the Walgreens Emma Frost. So her chest isn't that big, and neither her upper torso is also a little shorter than normal than what you would find again on this. This is a longer upper torso. This is a shorter upper torso. Also, again, the breasts are smaller, and that's what I wanted for this. The necklace I sculpted myself. The plastic, again, is the same as what's on her coat, which I'll get to that in a second. The actual pennant piece is just epoxy sculpt, and I shaped that to make this weird shape or whatever it is. And then this little circle bit right there that's kind of looking like a rainbow. That is the same piece that you would see on here, right here. The pins on the legs. I just cut that off. on one of the pins that I had laying about, and then glued it onto that piece that I sculpted. And then the rest of it is the rest of it. The jacket. So as far as the jacket arms and the jacket itself, those come from the Moira McTaggart figure. The base level of it, at least. So the arms are just the Moira McTaggart arms, and these are just standard C grips for gripping things for the hands. So just whatever, and it's all painted. But as far as the jacket goes, so there's a couple things about this jacket. So her jacket normally does flow outward like that. I tried my best to get this shape there. Maybe I could have cut this a little deeper, but I think it's fine the way it is. And then you can see she's got these little wings on her back. Now they're on her back. I do know that they're not supposed to be on her back. They're supposed to be on the choker. Like if we're going for accuracy, it's actually a part of her collar, her choker, on her neck, but there's not a lot of room there. So I have to change things up and just put these wings on her back, as opposed to trying to fit this on her neck with her hair and all of that stuff. It would just be a logistics issue. So I made the right decision, in my opinion, to just have these glued to her jacket. So with that said, let's talk about the wings. The wings are Procreate putty that I usually use Procreate putty for making hair if I need to do a hair sculpt for a character. But this is just extra Procreate putty that, instead of throwing it away, I flatten it and just have it as like a sheet of flat Procreate putty. So it dried up and got hardened, and had it laying about, and then cut it into shape so I can get the shape for these wings and stuff. So it is a little curved just because it's been sitting in my drawer and wasn't perfectly flattened, but it's still available, and ended up cutting it out. And as far as this part goes, it sticks out. So that's the plastic because again, this upper part of the jacket is actually the jacket from Moira McTaggart. You can see a little bit where it's transitioning out because I'm gluing on the inside. The plastic that is just from whatever containers that you might have. For in particular, this was for like a bed comforter. That plastic that the comforter comes in. I took that and then glued that on the inside. It does have wires, so that's why it's sticking out. So you can see here, this is where a wire is, right here, and right here. This was very difficult still. It didn't seem like it was going to be that bad, but it was tough because it's not cloth, right? It's not elastic, it's plastic, it's very static. So trying to get it to fold up and have a good shape and not tug too much was tough, very tough, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But it did work out. One of the weird things that I really hate though is that the paint on it is kind of bad looking. So I use Angelus acrylic leather paint on any flexible material, typically capes and hair and stuff like that. So it would be here, and I don't have any problem with that paint except for the white. White always has these really bad brush strokes. Like I painted this about 5 or 6 times with the white, and you can still see brush strokes like crazy. Every other color from the Angelus acrylic leather paint, whether it's black, yellow, green, red, brown, or whatever, I don't have that issue, but white always does this. So and also the other issue is the white doesn't match. The white from the Angelus doesn't match the white from Vallejo, which is what this is. All the white on her body is Vallejo acrylic paint, so that the two whites don't match very well, and it's very frustrating. By the way, her skin tone is basic skin tone from Vallejo as well. The finish on everything is like her body and stuff is matte finish. The gold paint on on her wrists and on her torso. Also on the necklace is gloss finish. So I got in there with a thin brush and just painted gloss on top of the gold, and again on the necklace and stuff. Her hair and her purse are her lips are also gloss, but the hair and her purse are a satin finish, so they have a small sheen to it. And then let's go back to the face, because I haven't said anything about her hair or anything like that. Her face is the domino figure from Hasbro Marvel Legends, or it's the Wasp figure, whichever one is the same face. I picked that face for two reasons. One, it fit because it just fits. But two, that head sculpt has very thick eyebrows, and Diantha has pretty thick eyebrows. So I did go a little bit thicker on the eyebrow than that head sculpt does, but it works. Again, just trying to go for accuracy. But yeah, this is just domino or wasp head, and I think it works pretty well. I think the bone structure works pretty well for Diantha. And that being said, she does have eyeshadow. You can kind of see, this is the closest zoom I can get. Sorry about that. There we go. Come on, focus for me, camera. No, it don't like being that close, I guess. Let's back it up. So yeah, that's the closest I can get. I'm sorry. She has the eyeshadow there. Our eyes are painted blue. Her hair is fully hard sculpted with epoxy sculpt, so there's no Procreate putty at all in her hair. I did this all by hand, all myself. There are no borrowed parts of her hair at all, and all the detail is there. Even her bangs are hard sculpted with epoxy sculpt. So I just took out little small pieces of the epoxy sculpt and just shaped them into little points, and then laid that flat down right onto the front of her head. I went overboard when doing her hair. I should have used a reference picture. She usually has like 6 spikes going around her hair, and I just kind of just went around and just made a bunch of spikes. So it was a little too much. But I did try to get the grayness on her hair and get that color right to the best of my ability. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that other figure. Alright, so like I said before, I plan on doing 2 figures for Diantha. This one right here, and then I was going to do her black dress that's in Pokemon Masters. I think it's a Signet suit. I'm not 100% sure. I absolutely love the way it looks, and I was super excited to start this project because I really wanted to have that dress, that costume for Diantha on my shelf, and everything was going great. I even have, here's the head sculpt that I made. It's the same head. You can see I put the tiara up there. That's the gems that are up there. And when I was sculpting this, this was the first one I sculpted, and then this was the second one. I think the bangs came out better on the second one, just from the experience of figuring out how to do this. And then even her upper torso, I had that done. Some more gems on her chest. This is where the cloth would be for her dress there. So that was going really well, up until we got to the actual dress itself. And I had a plan, but it didn't really work out too well. And I won't go into all of the details, but obviously plastic is plastic. Like I said, it does not stretch or anything like that. And the initial plan, I actually had drew up a pattern, or was trying to make a pattern out of paper. So then I would take the pattern and then cut out plastic on the pattern and then stick it onto her. That didn't work out well because I don't know how to do that very well. So then I tried to wing it, and it was kind of going okay, but the particulars of her dress, and I wanted to go for as much accuracy as possible. It folds over so many times in a very subtle way, but the cloth of it folds over and then sticks out from her body like a whole lot. And you can see once you stick this out, it's going to pull the plastic from the back to the front, and then you try to correct it back this way, and it just keeps making an issue. So I had to give up on this. So Maybe I'll come back and do this again in the future when I learn a better way. And it wouldn't have been so bad if it was just like a straight down dress, like just a regular dress that goes down. But because of all of the folding and all of the details there, that's what kicked my butt. So it's not that I can't make a dress, it's because of how particular her dress is, and I wanted to go for accuracy. So I'm giving up on this. I'm going to rip this all off, and I can use these parts later on for a different figure. But I just wanted to go over that real quick and let you know, yeah, sometimes I take an L. All right, to close out the video, a quick comparison. These are all customs that I've made. This is the last Pokemon custom, or was it Claire? Actually, I think it was Claire that was the last one that I did a few months ago. But yeah, Claire, gym leader in Pokemon Gold, Silver, Gen 2. I don't even remember the name of the city. Sorry. Diantha, and then gym leader Sabrina from Saffron City, first gen. So I still absolutely love my Pokemon customs to death, and will continue to do them. I need to do them a little bit more frequently because there's plenty more characters I need to make. I had Marnie planned, but I couldn't decide on how to make her build. I'm still working on that, and it'll happen at some point, but for what it's worth, I was ready to do Diantha. Marnie will happen a little bit later. I did mention that I bought a Suicune. I'm going to be making a custom for that character, or character for that Suicune, and the Mewtwo, we'll see. I haven't decided on that yet, but that'll wrap this up. I'm very happy how this turned out. So if you are enjoying this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, let me know what you think about this, and I will see you next time. I got more videos planned, a couple more before the end of the year, and I will see you next time. Peace.